Okay, so two quick final stories. Right at the end of October, we lost, or retired, I guess is the polite term, two major missions. One is the Kepler mission, which has been gathering data for, gosh, six, 7 years. Well, I've got a video telling you what it did, but it's been an extremely productive mission. It was designed to just stare at an area in space, look at 100,000 stars in that area, and then watch if there were planets that were orbiting those stars. When they get in a position between that star and the Earth, it dims a little bit. And so they looked for those signals and detected, at this point, something like over 2,000 planets around other stars. And that we went from, in 1996 or 98 was when the first confirmed extrasolar planet was detected. We've gone from 1 to over 2,000 in about 20 years. So actually, I said 100,000. I guess it was 500,000. They've confirmed 2,662 planets around other stars. They've observed supernova stellar explosions. This is how much data they've returned. And I think that's it. What happened is it ran out of fuel that would keep the spacecraft stable. And so once that happens, it just drifts and can no longer point at the Earth to get the data back. So next here, I do have just a short video saying what it accomplished and what's going to happen to it now. So the spacecraft is in an orbit very similar to the Earth, but it's trailing the Earth. And over the course of about 50 years, or 42 years, I guess it is, it will slowly catch up. And then as it passes by the Earth again, that deflects the spacecraft slightly with the Earth's gravity, and it goes into an orbit that's closer to the sun. And then it does this lappingness once again. And so we'll be covering this in 2117 when it comes back to the Earth. So that's the Kepler mission, and then let's see. Okay, so that's that. And then the other spacecraft, just one day later, this long-term mission called Dawn, which orbited two largest asteroids in the solar system. It orbited Vesta, and then it uses ion propulsion, so it was able to move away from Vesta, travel for another couple of years, and go to the largest asteroid that we know of, Ceres. And it also ran out of gas on, one day after Kepler did. But this one, I do have a short
when
video
you work on a
what
mission
the mission was
this
about.
long, it feels like a part of you. I've been a space enthusiast since I was 4 years old. Getting to work on a mission like this it's a dream come true. To me, Dawn is truly Earth's first interplanetary spaceship. No other spacecraft has gone to a distant body, gone into orbit around it, maneuvered there, then broken out of orbit, traveled elsewhere in the solar system to another alien world, and gone into orbit around it. And it does that with ion propulsion, which I first heard of in a Star Trek episode. We've turned ion propulsion from science fiction into science fact.
The Dawn mission really is a journey back to the beginning of the solar system, and that's why we call it Dawn. We chose 2 time capsules from the beginning of the solar system. Vesta and Ceres, which are the most massive and largest bodies in the main asteroid belt. They both formed very early when the solar system was forming out of the protoplanetary disk, and yet they ended up in these two very different states. Vesta is a dry, rocky body that looks a lot like our moon, whereas Ceres had a lot of water, and it looks much more like the icy moons of the outer solar system.
And it seems like what determined their eventual fate was the location where they started. And we now believe that Ceres formed much farther from the sun than it is now.
When Dawn found the bright material on Ceres, what we saw was completely mind-blowing. It was made of sodium carbonate. Sodium carbonate is not common in the solar system, but we see it coming out of the plumes of Enceladus. We see it in lakes on Earth, and here it was on the surface of Ceres.
The mission will end when Dawn runs out of the conventional chemical propellant that it uses to orient itself in the zero gravity of space. Dawn will become this inert celestial monument in orbit around the dwarf planet that it unveiled. Dawn serves as a lasting reminder that the passion for bold adventures and our noble aspirations to reach out into the cosmos take us far, far beyond the confines of our humble home here on planet Earth.
Okay, so once again, that ended on October 31st.